All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Take Control of the Hidden Profits in Your Healthcare Website. My name is Jody Underhill. I'll be your host as we go through the training today. Luckily, we didn't have the hiccup we had on the previous webinar where the webinar locked us out. We'll get started here in just a second. As we do, as people kind of join on here, I want to share with you, I'm going to be doing participation, audience participation. And when I do that, if you look on the right-hand side of your control panel, there is the GoToWebinar control panel. Right-hand side of your computer screen, there's a GoToWebinar control panel, and you'll see a place where it says questions, and that's where you can type in any questions. If I ask you to put a 1 in the box, that's the box I'm talking about. So if somebody would, or if all of you, or those of you who are paying attention, put a 1 or a yes in the box, just let me know that you can hear me, that you can see my screen, and we'll get ready to start rocking and rolling with the presentation. Be respectful of your time. Not everybody at once. I'm going to wait. I'm going to start calling on people. So anyway, I'm hoping you can see my screen. It says it's showing and it's saying that it's recording. We've got, people from West Palm, from Glenville, Alameda, New York, Boston, Colorado Springs, Springfield, Scottsdale. Let's see, a bunch of people on here. Thank you, BioOrient. So let me know, like I said, anyway, we've got people coming from everywhere. Got West Palm Beach. I actually lived in, I was person that's on here from West Palm Beach, Florida. I was born and raised in Okeechobee. You know where that's at? It's about hour east, west rather, of where you're at. It's not east. And I worked for Florida Power and Light for about 26 years and actually lived in West Palm. So, all right, here's what we're going to cover on today's training. Also, you can ask any questions you want as we go through here. Just type them in the question box. Thank you, Health for Life Chiropractic, for putting that in there. You can ask any questions as we go through here. It's very informal. This is a training. I am going to be sharing information with you that you can take and put into practice yourself, or you can, if anybody, whoever's doing this work for you, if you have a staff member, or if you happen to be the staff member, a lot of these things you can take and put in place. So there is going to be a training. I'm not trying to sell you any kind of website or anything on this webinar. It's basically information, and then I will have something I want to share with you towards the end of it. You'll definitely want to stick around for. Somebody has their hand up. I can't really unmute anything, so if you have a question there, Dr. Kenneth, you can type that into the question box, and I'll be more than happy to answer, because I can't really unmute the way the thing is set up, and it doesn't, because this is on a webcast instead of being on a standard webinar. Cool. All right, so with that, here's what we're going to cover today: how to take control of your marketing and set up an online sales machine to bring in new patients like clockwork. So it's not selling e-com, it's not doing that, but there are ways that you can go ahead and convert people. Also, we're going to look at why the number one thing in your business doesn't work right now. Practice, business, they're interchangeable here. Also, the most important thing you need to know about your website visitors. Once you know this, it can help how you position things in order to make the next part that much easier. And we're going to cover how to grab the attention of website visitors and build trust in the process. So trust is a big deal. When it comes to wellness, when it comes to healthcare, I mean, we're trusting you with our health. So we need to know that we're being taken care of. And then how to create offers that convert visitors into booked appointments. And we look at this as there's 4 cores of marketing. Now, I know that it's all said about taking control of the hidden profits in your healthcare website, but I hope you don't mind. I'm going to expand a little bit more than just on that. The first thing we're going to look at, the first thing we're going to talk about is your web presence and automation and how that all works together. Then we're going to look at traffic sources and some tips, some key areas that you can do that aren't going to cost you anything, that you can put in place to start increasing the amount of traffic that you're getting right now. Also, we're going to look at reputation. I mean, reputation is critical. It doesn't matter what the business is, but especially when it comes to healthcare. It doesn't take but a couple of bad reviews in order for things to kind of go south very quickly. We're going to talk about how to take care of that. And also, we're going to look at social. Whether you like it or not, social is part of the equation today. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can make sure that not everything, but the things that you post get in front of the people who matter most. So if you look at it, have you ever wondered what it is that the mega successful practices know that others don't? I used to say that you don't on here, but it offended some people, so I changed it to others. Well, in order to kind of position that, I'm going to share a quick story with you. Once upon a time, there were 2 doctors. They both graduated from the same program. They were better than average students. They both worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, building the practice, and they both recently attended their college reunion. And when they got there, they were both still a lot like each other. They both were happily married. They both had 3 children, and they both owned and operated their own practice. That's where the similarities stopped. Because you see, when they got to the reunion, one doctor was running a small practice, struggling to bring in enough cash flow to keep themselves and their staff busy, and the other was growing in leaps and bounds, enjoying a steady stream of new affluent patients every single day. So what happened? What makes the difference? Have you ever scratched your head and wondered, why is somebody else getting all the attention? Why is someone else getting why is somebody else, why are they always full and we seem to be struggling? And even if you're not struggling, the fact is that most medical practices want to get more people coming in the door. But there are some that say, no, we have everything we need. That's great. That's not who this isn't. If that's you, this isn't for you. This is to make it so that you bring in more. So if you look at the 2 doctors, they both got the same grades. They both put in the same hours, and they had the same ambition. So when it comes to success of bringing that in, it's not time, money, or skill that makes the difference. So what the mega successful practices know that others don't, well, we're going to walk through exactly what that is. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why should some guy who's on the internet who doesn't even know who I am want to help me? I'm going to take just a second, as boring as it may be for you. I'm going to explain that. See, as I mentioned, I worked for the power company for a lot of years. And then when I left there, I actually became a business coach. But what I found, what most businesses needed, instead of trying to act like a CEO of their business, what they really needed was more business. And I got very successful helping businesses get more business, and got recognition, and got an offer from the largest digital marketing company in the nation. After having been an executive with the power company, they saw the executive qualities, went to work for them, making nearly 7 figures a year, but it had an empty hole in my soul. I was making a lot of money, I was doing stuff, I was traveling around, speaking all over the world, but it wasn't fulfilling. When I went back, when I was the most happy was helping local businesses. I tell people the worst day helping local businesses is better than the best day at the power company. It's also better than the best day of being a president of the largest digital marketing company in the world. So helping local businesses is where my passion is. And when I call you a local business, I'm not saying small, right? Local means that the people come to you within a driving distance. And the reason is because that I want to help people is because you have a partner that can easily mislead you. Now, it doesn't matter if you're the doc or if you're the staff member or the person in charge of the marketing, this is going to fit no matter what. See, the partner who could easily mislead you could easily stab you in the back, but that goes by a different name, and the name is hope. And I can tell you, hope is not a business plan. I've seen it time and time again. And the information I'm about to share has never been publicly revealed before. Well, I take that back, except 2 times earlier today. so with that, the thing is, the road to success, there's a map for it, and it leaves clues. And if we have a map, if we're at the same location and we both have the same map, we both have to arrive at the same destination because the roads are there, it's marked on the map. The only time that doesn't happen, now I know today we've got Google Maps and we've got Waze and all those different things. The only time that it doesn't happen is if we don't know where we are to begin with, if we start off in the weeds and we don't know how to get back on track. That's what we're going to be talking about, of how to give you control and empower you to take control of your marketing. Because the only thing you should ever entrust your practice growth to is a bulletproof system. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today, is a bulletproof system that will help you do that. So if you look at it, if you look at opportunities, what's the most important thing that a practice needs to start capturing more business online right now? Well, this is the interactive part. Now, there's a bunch of you on here, so I want you to take a second, engage with me here, go down to that question box and type in, what do you think is the most important thing? I'll take just a second. This is where I should have the Jeopardy music playing. All right. Green River says Facebook. Facebook is important, social media is important, but it's not the most important thing. Anybody else got one? All right. Emails. No, I mean, yeah, emails are important, but you want to capture them, but it's how you go about doing that. Well, the way you go about doing that is by having a high converting web page or landing page. And I know we all already have a website. I'm not trying to sell you a website, but I'm going to share with you why it might not be performing the way that you want it to. So see, online marketing has changed more in the last 18 months than in the last several years. And it's all happened because of one device. Does anyone know what that device is? Come on, somebody's got to know. Right? Dr. Smile says smartphone, Triveda mobile. You got it, chiropractic, you got it as well. Smartphone, right? It's the smartphone. It's amazing how much it's changed how we consume things. And when I share some of this with you, again, and I'm not trying to sell you on a mobile website. I know your site's already mobile optimized. I get it, but it may not be as mobile friendly as it could be. See, 57% of all US online traffic now comes from mobile devices. But wait a minute, Jody, I'm in London. I'm in the UK. I'm up in Canada. I'm in Saskatchewan. I'm in Perth, Australia. We're not in the US. It's the same. It's basically the same across the board whenever it comes to that. So, and when it comes to that, all those are looking at it on mobile devices. And 88% of the consumers who search for a type of business on a mobile device call or go to that business or practice within 24 hours, usually shorter than that. Okay. So it's very critical that it displays properly, because nearly 8 in 10 customers would stop engaging with content that doesn't display well on their device. And not displaying well has a different meaning than it did just a couple of years ago. Because a couple of years ago, it was like, if you have a website where you have to pinch and zoom, they're going to leave. I don't care if you have a mobile friendly site today, it may not be, or mobile optimized, it may not be as mobile friendly. It may be optimized. Let's see. And Triveda said, I'm watching this on my phone. There you go. And then if you are, and you know the questions, it's a little question bar at the bottom, right? And that goes to show you, you can interact, you can watch a webinar and interact and answer questions on a mobile device and on a mobile phone. It's amazing today. So, and looking at it, here's what's making it different. This is the aha, okay? It's not that, 57%, those are some old stats, right? They're not old, but we've seen it before. Here's the key. Here's the aha. Almost 60% of users on mobile, where scrolling is more convenient with a thumb. Scrolling is more intuitive. Clicking is not. Scrolling is more intuitive because of social media like Facebook and e-commerce stores like Amazon. It's trained us to just scroll up and down. I mean, I switched from an iPhone to an Android, and then I switched back to an iPhone, and it's amazing how even to clear a screen, you swipe, right? You up or down with your thumb. There's very little push button anymore. And if you are pushing the button, you're taking an action to opt in. That's the only time we want them to click, is when they're doing something we want them to do. So, in looking at it, why the number one thing a practice needs doesn't work, that was one of the things we said we were going to look at, is because if you look at the definition of a website, it's a group of pages that containing hyperlinks that are linked to one another, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole bunch of pages. And what it basically comes down to is websites are like brochures, excuse me. Websites are like brochures. They aren't designed to do anything except sit there and be read. It's a big fancy brochure talking all about how great you are. That's what they come down to. And we know what happens to most brochures, right? They end up in the round pile. When's the last time you made a buying decision from a brochure? Very rarely does that happen anymore. And it's so critical because whenever you look at your web presence, and I'll say web presence, not website, because we're going to talk about it in a different way, and we're going to call it something other than a website here in just a little bit, is that it's where all the elements that have led someone to you culminate with them choosing to do business with you. So all the things you're doing, if you have YouTube videos or Facebook and Google ads, Google Maps, Twitter, email, TV ads, Instagram, Pinterest, the Penny Saver, trade shows, and I know some of you go to trade shows because I've seen you there. And actually, my wife used to manage 7-figure chiropractic practice, and they got a ton of leads coming from trade shows, so there's no shame in it. Radio ads, all of those things are to do what? To get leads, get them focused in, get them funneled in to your website. So you spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy getting them there, but most of your websites are like a bucket with a bunch of holes shot in it. There's leaking everywhere. And that's how we're going to help you find those hidden profits as we go through here. Because here's the deal. Sending a prospect to your website is like taking a hungry person and dropping them in the middle of Walmart. What happens if you do that? There's too many choices. I mean, granted, Walmart's it's not dropping in the middle of Nordstrom, but there's all kinds of things they can do there, right? They may make their way over to the food section because they may be that hungry that that's all they do. Or they may get distracted by other sections of the store. That's all the buttons and all the clicks to additional services and all the things where you feel like you got to cram all that information in there. and then they click around. The fact is, they may walk out empty-handed, which is what happens most of the time in your industry. Matter of fact, if you look at the stats from your industry, which is the medical profession and healthcare, is that the best websites are only getting about 3% of the website visitors to contact them. That means 97% of your website visitors are leaving without converting, and they have no intention of returning. They're just gone. Matter of fact, if you ask people how they found you online, they don't know. They just stumbled across it usually. So again, we don't want visitors to just read. We want them to take action and convert into patients. And yeah, I know that's a veterinary website. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you some different ones that are actually from the home medical field, home services field. It doesn't matter because the human psychology of how what I'm going to share with you works basically no matter what type of business it is. So in looking at it, I told you we're going to talk about the number one thing you need to know about your website visitor. And it's really very obvious, but most people don't think about it. Look, we all remember three stations and 2-minute commercials, right? We used to have ABC, NBC, CBS, and a commercial came on, you had to watch it. Well, today, with social and cell phones, our attention is everywhere, which means it's nowhere. And whenever attention is nowhere, they bounce and they don't stay. So in the year 2000, right, nearly 20 years ago now, wow, it's hard to imagine, right? I remember Y2K, what a crazy time that was. The year 2000, you had 12 seconds to capture someone's attention. In 2018, studies show you have 8 seconds. So across that 18 years, we've lost 4 seconds of someone's attention. Why is there a goldfish on the page? That's 1 second less than a goldfish's attention span. So today, a website visitor doesn't even have the attention span of a goldfish. So we got to make it wow them. We got to get it in front of them. So how do you break through in less than 8 seconds is the key. And I'm to keep this in mind. This is a theme as we're going to be going through here of how this works and how it works. Let's see. Somebody said no sound, no screen. You can put a 1 in the box if you can see my screen and hear me. BioOrient, if it's not there, it may be your browser. Make sure I didn't lose everybody. I'm going to tell them to try refreshing. Come on, somebody give me a 1 or a yes. There's a couple hundred of you on here. Somebody's got to be able to do it, unless you really can't hear me or see me. It says sharing, it says recording. So there we go. Okay, so with that, like I said, content is king, is what we used to think. It's now design is more critical than content. Why is that? Well, because our brain processes visuals 60,000 times faster than reading text. 60,000 times faster. So a picture really is worth 1,000 words. Thank you, Health for Life and Cornerstone. Let me know. I think there's a delay is what's happening. And so it took me a little while for the yeses to come through that you can see and hear my screen, or hear my screen and see my screen and hear me. Let's get it right. So, and this is Elizabeth Sillence did a study, and they looked at the trust and mistrust of online health sites, right? Very key to what we're talking about here. And they looked at that. There were 15 women that faced a risky health decision, were observed while searching the internet for information and advice over 4 consecutive weeks. They discussed their first impression of a website and what led them to reject a website were in design appeal, predicted rejection, or mistrust, and credibility of information. That's how important the design is. I mean, it's amazing that it is that way today, but poor design makes them reflect it poorly on you and your practice. 94% cited design, and yeah, I know there's an extra S in there, and only 6% cited content in relation to the number of times they rejected a site. What that comes down to is trust and value are why we buy. Trust and value are why we choose to come to you as our medical professional. Good design builds trust. Now, if I had just words on a page, would it be as conducive as what the graphics that you're seeing as we're going through here? Good design is what makes it feel more real for them. And good design is part of your reputation, believe it or not. Here's the thing, both online and offline, you have to ask, Does your brand inspire trust? Your brand is the story that your market believes about your products, your expertise, your service, and the value that you offer. We're going to talk about social in a little bit, but you have a digital footprint and you have a digital shadow. Your digital footprint is what you put online, right? Just like footprints in the sand, you control where you step. You don't have control over your shadow. It depends on where the sun is. Your digital shadow is what other people are saying about you. Well, if your digital footprint looks like this, where everything is cluttered in there, most businesses start here where it's all cluttered in and trying to get everything in one place, as much information as possible, when really what businesses want is this. Now, if you look at it compared to a website, this is a website that's active right now, and this is what it looks like, and this is where they go into our services. It's not very sexy, not very appealing, and it doesn't have a great design quality, versus a site that actually only gives them one choice of what to do and gives them the information. And we're going to talk about, oh yeah, but there's tabs at the top. We're going to talk about where those tabs go and why it's more effective than a website that bounces around to a bunch of pages. So again, we want them to take action. What are the actions we want them to take? Well, the first action that we can have someone take, no matter what, usually is a click, right? And I know it goes against what I said with the scrolling, but when they click, we want them to be taking an action to get in touch with us. So when they click, what can they do whenever they click on your website? When they click on your website, yeah, Cornerstone, I can definitely do that. So in the actions is a click, right? With a click, you subscribe or opt in. With a click, you call. With a click, you order. Those are the actions that we want them to take when they're on the website. But what we have to do is we have to get into what they're thinking in order to get them to do that. Most places, most businesses, most practices don't usually have a traffic problem. We're going to talk about traffic in a little bit. What they typically have is a conversion problem. And the conversion is because you're giving them too many choices of things to do. You're dropping them in the middle of Walmart. And while they're there, there's 5 questions that every website visitor asks before they contact you. Will this solve my problem? Is this going to be the person that's going to be able to help me? Do I have to decide now? No urgency means no decision. You had to put something there, an offer there that's going to get them to take action now, because if they go away, if they miss it, they're not going to get it later. And yes, even in medical professional, there's ways of doing that. Am I getting the best? How can somebody be sure if they're getting the best from you? Well, based on what other people are saying, right? Based on your reputation. Am I going to regret this? Right? Again, that's based on your reputation, based on the reviews, based on what people are saying. And am I paying a good price? Typically with medical, it's not as much of an issue because a lot of medical practices provide services that sometimes are not covered by insurance. So they are price sensitive, but there's ways of helping them with that as well, right? Whenever you offer care credit or those types of things for them to be able to get the care that they need, and being able to, it benefits you because you get paid immediately, and it benefits them because they're able to get the treatment that they need immediately. So again, if they're paying a good price. But here's the thing. What's the #1 tool a practice has to get conversions? Now, I would ask that, but it's a little bit of a tricky question, right? And the #1 tool that you have to get conversions is your story. The story of who you are, why you went into practice, why you are the person that, why you are the practice that they should entrust their health to. And right now, it's hard to do that the way things are lined up online. And the #2 tool a practice has to get conversions is the ability to test one offer against another. So those are the 2 things. Neither one of those really are available, because how do you tell your story with a beginning, a middle, and an end with a 10-page plus website, right? You have the About Us page that you want them to go over to. And every time they go to a different page, that clock starts over. That 8-second clock starts over, and you have the chance of losing them anytime they switch. And also, it's hard to split test a 10-plus page website because you don't know what page they're going to be spending the most time on. So the 2 most important things you need to do to get basically pages to convert better isn't really possible right now with a website the way it stands. That's why we're going to be talking about a brand site, right? I said I was going to call it something different than a website. We're going to call it a brand site funnel. And In a brand site funnel, I'm going to give you every step of the way of what this entails. So the brand site funnel is designed to move visitors into the sales process. It tells the story with a beginning, middle, and end that helps a visitor make a decision to choose you. And the way it does that, like we said, your brand is a story that your market believes about you. So we have people that start off, there's visitors looking for products and services. And your story is lined up in a way that drives them to take action. Why you're different. That's the first thing you're going to be sharing with them. Then your products and services, your reputation, and then finally your value. We're going to move them all the way through the story, but we're going to give them the opportunity every step along the way to make a decision. So what if instead of building a multiple page website brochure that's sitting out there now, what if we build a single page funnel that was designed to convert visitors? Again, I'm not trying to sell you on building you a single page funnel, but I'm going to tell you how you can get one for free when you stick around till the end. So with a funnel, and again, we're going to talk about 3 other areas, not just funnels and automation. We're still going to talk about reputation. We're still going to talk about traffic, and we're still going to talk about social. And you're going to get things that you can take away and write or downers from each one of those sections. So with a funnel, it's 1 page. The brand site, with a website, it's multiple pages. The brand site, your story is clear. Website is confusing. It bounces all over the place. You have bits and pieces here and there. The funnel is friendly scrolling navigation. Most websites, lots of clicking to move around. The information is on different pages. Funnel them to take action. Website, usually not a real clear action step. Now, you may feel that there is because of what you want them to do, but when they get there, is it obvious or is it confusing? I got news for you. The confused mind always says no. Split testing with the funnel, it's easy because you can basically replicate the page since it is 1 page, change the offer, have 2 different pages and split the traffic. Website, there's really no ability to split test. 6 to 10 calls to action on that funnel, on that brand site funnel page. Gee, that's a lot. That's a lot of calls to action. It seems to be very salesy. You're going to see the way it's laid out. It's not. It seems very natural and for them to be able the way they consume the information. With a website, there's usually almost no calls to action other than there's a phone number at the top or a click to schedule an appointment. Funnel is mobile friendly. Most websites basically are not, they're mobile optimized maybe, but they're not mobile friendly. There's a difference. You can track conversions. It's hard to track conversions in a funnel. So all of those pieces go into play there. So what does this thing look like? We created something called a story block. It's a block of content that's critical to telling your story, and the blocks go in a certain order. And we've proven this through human psychology of how the story blocks work. And I know that's air conditioning repair. It doesn't matter. The story blocks are the same. And you see now when I put the green bars around there, they're in blocks. What does that do? It transitions over very seamlessly to a mobile phone of how they see the information and tons of ways for them to get in touch with you. So you tell your story with images, text, color, and design in a story block that looks like this. Now, how do you tell this? How do you tell your story? It's easier to show you. This is an average looking website on a computer, basically with the dental, payment, and insurance options. And if you're Monarch Dental on here, I'm sorry, this is exactly a picture of the website, right? So when you look at the information of the dental payment options, this is what it looks like on a phone. 60% of website visitors see something that looks like a tax audit when they view it on a mobile phone. So that's why we created the 21 story block formula. Title, navigation block, cover block, your promise is number 3 on there. These are blurred out, but I'm going to show you every step of the way what all of these look like in just a minute. And I'm going to show them to, it makes more sense when I show them to you on an actual page. So the formula is the starting point of building your branding story and to differentiate you from your competition. And it gives the foundation to start split testing and increasing your web conversions because you're able to tell which people choose one over the other, right? So if you look at this, you have a choice on how to tell your story. Website content versus story block content. So which one will keep them more engaged and tell your story? Number 1 or number 2? Go ahead and put it in the box if you think number 1 or number 2 is going to be the way that you should tell your story, right? There's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Got 2 with an exclamation point. Yeah, it's obvious. It's very obvious. So with that, the way you differentiate your brand is basically it's how it shows your value, right? The brand site website funnel, it starts off when they get to there, you capture their information, and they go into an email campaign. Now, the cool thing about this is as soon as they enter their information, they get a response email from you, and you get notified immediately of the lead. And it doesn't have to be connected to any other autoresponders. It will, what we're going to be talking about, but the system does it for you. Again, I'm going to tell you how you can get this for free in just a little bit. Let's show you what a brand site website funnel looks like. And I get it. Hey, that's landscaping. It's not medical. It doesn't matter. It's the concept and human nature. Keep in mind, it's designed to create trust and optimize for converting them to customers with a very deliberate framework. And it's all on one page. That's the key. You have an attention-getting headline. You have your attention-getting image, which is an action image, attention-getting offer, attention-getting button, and your promise. And that button, the other thing is everyone gives the free exam or the free initial exam or whatever. Make it a custom analysis for them, not just an exam, right? That's why it's an analysis for landscape, an analysis for healthcare, analysis for chiropractic care. It doesn't matter. It's an analysis, not an estimate. Nobody wants the free estimate, but everybody wants the custom analysis and action plan, because that's what you're really developing for them, right? If they come in, you're developing a treatment plan. So why not put it in that wording? Why not help them see the value of what they're getting in order to do that? And then your promise. This is missing on most websites, what your promise is to them as a patient and your commitment to their care. And then, like I said, ask yourself, how does your site stack up to this? Then, if you keep in mind it's all on one page, which means they don't have to click around. And here's why I said we're going to come back to that goldfish a few times. They don't have to click around, which means then they don't have to click around. They're staying on the same page. Every time they have to click to go to a different page, the clock starts over. Another 8 seconds. We got to keep them there to get them to stay there longer. And they will leave. And once they leave, they're gone forever. So we're keeping them on the page. And by keeping them on the page, we're increasing the likelihood of them taking the action that we want them to take. Because we're not taking the hungry person and even putting them in the food department of Walmart. We're taking the hungry person and putting them in front of the food that they like. Because it doesn't do you any good to put a vegetarian in the meat department, right? And if somebody's hungry for steak, it doesn't do you any good to put them in the soup aisle. You got to put them in front of what they're looking for. So then you have your detail of your services offered with imagery and a clear call to action. What you'll notice is everywhere they are on the page, whether they're on mobile or whether they're on a computer, a call to action is there. We don't want them to have to scroll up or down in order to take action and get in touch with us. Then client reviews with pictures of clients. Jody, you can't put pictures of clients. We have to comply with HIPAA. Here's the thing. Yes, you can, and it's not against HIPAA because they're already leaving the review with their picture on a review site about your practice. They're leaving it on Google with their picture. They're leaving it on Facebook with their picture. They're leaving it on Yelp. They're leaving their information. So all you're doing is using information that's already readily available online and placing that on your site. You're not giving away any medical information. You're not the one sharing it. They are. So therefore, that's why it's within compliance. I wouldn't be telling you anything that wasn't or that we hadn't proven. Again and again, we have dozens upon dozens of these things up and running and working, and we've already gone through that whole thing. So again, with this conversion optimization, another clear call to action, anywhere they're on the page, put your discount offer in there. We're not a discount medical practice. Well, there's something that you can offer them to incentivize them to choose you. Call to action and clear, concise, easy to read text blocks. You'll notice how it kind of zigzags across the page. I'm doing my hands right now, like you can see me zigzagging my hand. You have text on the right, then you move down, text on the left, then you move down, text on the right, image on the left. That's how we consume information. So it's laid out again with a psychological profile. And then action-based imagery balanced with the text. But we're not done. Remember, there's 21 places, 21 blocks that we're putting information in here. The next is real photos of team members. Make them feel comfortable when they walk in the door that the staff is there. And they don't have to click the button to go see the pictures of your staff. It's going to be on the page. The next thing is additional testimonials, reviews. Video testimonials are strong and they're key. And I'm going to tell you how you can also utilize those video testimonials in a way to get more attraction and get more traffic for your business here in just a minute. Then another contact us. No matter where they're at, no matter where they're scrolling, there's always going to be a way for them to contact you. Then you want to have easy to read FAQs. with the FAQs on the page, that keeps you from having, like I said, most of them have the same questions. So save yourself and your team some time and answer them on the web page. You know, what type of insurance do you accept? Do you accept insurance? You know, do you offer credit? Do you have care credit? Whatever those questions are for your practice and your medical profession, put those on there because they're going to have the same questions. So easy to read FAQs. A location block, let them know where you are and your hours. I've worked with a lot of medical professionals, and one of the biggest complaints is people going there whenever I say their hours are open, and they're not. Because the purchase-driven consumer is looking for 3 pieces of information: phone number, address, hours of operation. Don't make them have to leave your website to go to Google and to go to Google Maps to find directions to get to you. Have it on the page. And then a final call to action. So those are all of the things whenever it comes to the website and automation, the brand site funnel and automation, and to make it so that you have the best chance for converting them. Now, the next area that we focus on is traffic. And again, I'm not selling you any services here. Keep that in mind. I'm going to share an opportunity with you at the end on how you can take advantage of taking control of it yourself, though, right? So with traffic, there's a lot of different traffic sources out there. And I'm not going to begin to go into every one of these things because you don't have the time or the patience or the inclination typically to want to know about every one of these, because everyone has advantages and disadvantages. There's even a boomerang down here, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So with that, the one area that you can control without having to spend much money on it, there's 2 areas. One is Google Maps and the other is Facebook. And YouTube falls in there too. But those 2 areas you can actually kind of have control over. And the way that you can control is with your visibility, making sure your customers can find you. And it's not about your website, but it is about your web presence. You need to make sure that you're listed where you need to be. Every practice should be listed on at least 40 to 50 online directories. Do you think that people are going to be looking at 40 to 50 online directories? No. But guess who does? Google. They look at to see everywhere that you're listed, everywhere you have a listing, everywhere you have a citation. The more listings and citations you have, the better chances of you moving up. Now, the other thing is, you don't just have to make sure you're listed. You have to make sure those listings are accurate. Name, address, and phone number has to be exactly the same, letter for letter, character for character. So if you're East Side Vein Clinic and you put East Side Veins in one and East Side Vein Clinic on the other, or just East Side Vein, or if you put, if your address is 123 Maple Street and you put Maple STREET in one place and ST in another, if you're in Suite 300 and it's STE 300 on one and SUITE 300 on another, if you have tracking numbers scattered across them, Google looks at them as being irrelevant. They're a different business. I don't know that it's the same business because it's different. Now, we as humans will be able to tell that, but there's nothing worse than 4 different listings and wrong contact information, and those spiders see binary information and they don't know which one is right and which one is wrong, so they just basically default to it's not the same business and they don't give you credit for it. If you've ever wondered about that, now, not only does it drive customers crazy, it drives Google crazy, so they just don't give you credit. It's that simple. Those accurate listings make the customers happy and Google happy. The more consistent they are, the higher up in Google you're going to appear. Have you ever wondered why you're there when you have somebody with less reviews than you that has a higher ranking on Google Maps? Well, it's probably because they have more accurate listings or more listings. So that's one of the ways that you can increase the level of traffic that you have coming to the site. Then you have to look at reputation. Why is reputation important? Well, because search results are like a shopping mall where every store sells the exact same product or service. And when that happens, well, how do we make a decision? How do you make a decision on what you're going to buy on Amazon, right? Based on what people have said. So here's what people look for, right? And so I've talked to hundreds of medical practices, and it's like, oh, well, we have 5-star ratings. Okay, great. You have 5-star ratings. How many do you have, right? Because I don't care if you have all 5-star ratings, if you only have 10 and Downtown Dental has 178, which one looks more appealing to you? Which one looks more authoritative, right? The one with the more reviews. So it's about the number of reviews, not just the star rating. It's a star rating and number. And also, how many different review sites are you listed on? Where do you have 5 stars? So you have it on Google and on Facebook and on Yelp? Because you see ones that have 5 stars on Google and 4.9 stars on Facebook and 2.6 stars on Yelp. Now, part of this is because Yelp suppresses reviews. I get that. If you want to see how that works, go watch the movie Billion Dollar Bully. That gets you really frustrated with Yelp if you're not already. So those are the first 3 things they look for. So they have to be in conjunction in order for it to be relevant, and also for Google to look at it as relevant. So the star rating, the number of views, and how many different places you're listed. And if you look at Google listings now, a lot of times they'll actually put your Facebook reviews on there as well, and they'll put health grades reviews. They'll actually put that in your Google Maps listing. And then Google doesn't really look at this, but your visitors look at how do you respond to negative reviews. Because if you argue with a patient, it doesn't matter. Even if you're right, you're wrong, because there's no winning an argument online with a patient. How many people does it take to gain agreement? 1. All you got to do, and here's how you handle it. You say you're sorry, that's how they feel. That doesn't mean you're sorry that it happened. I'm sorry that's how you feel. As you can see by our other 5-star reviews, we pride ourselves in our level of service. I would welcome the opportunity to talk with you and see what we can do to improve the situation. Here's my personal phone number, right? So say you're sorry, leave some marketing, take it offline, because arguing back and forth is just a recipe for disaster. The other reason it's important is because if you're doing any advertising, if you have negative reviews, it can actually help your competition. Because when someone goes and finds your ad and they go to your website, and when they go to a brand site, they shouldn't bounce back as much. When they go to your website now, there's so many choices. They hit the back screen, the back arrow, and they're like, okay, let me compare them to some other service providers. And if someone has better ratings than you or more ratings than you, the chances are they're going to go there. So that's how your paid advertising can actually help your competitor. The other thing is looking at reputation videos. These are very simple, very easy to do. You can actually take a screenshot of a review and turn it into a video very simply. It doesn't have to be very long, because right now when people look for your practice name, Google auto-suggest, usually the second or third thing down, will put your practice name and the word reviews. And they click on that, it's going to pull up all the review sites. So what we want to do is stack the deck in our favor, that whenever they do go there, what are they going to see? Well, if you put videos online on YouTube, because Google loves YouTube because they own it, right? You put videos that have the information in the title about your name, where you're at, and 5-star review, and the word review in there, it's going to increase the chances of those reviews showing up on that page and you basically dominating it with those 5-star reviews. So that's an easy way for you to do that. And that's something you can do tomorrow. You can do a screenshot of a Google review, throw it into a video editor, make a quick video, put some music with it, stick it on YouTube, and you start increasing the number of places that you have information. And then social. Whether you like it or hate it, there's over 2 billion people on social, basically over 2 billion on Facebook right now. 93% of them expect the people that they deal with to have a presence on social media. 85% expect companies to interact with them on social media. Someone goes to your Facebook page and Messenger opens up. What does it say? How long does it generally take you to get in contact with them? If they go there and it says that Right Way Cairo usually responds in 2 business days, they're probably not going to stick around. They want to go to somewhere that says they respond within an hour, respond immediately. You can work on that, and you can make it show that you can change it. And Facebook even prompts you, said, hey, you got a message from so-and-so, improve your response rate by answering sooner. So they expect you to be able to do that because it gives you the ability to do business with nearby customers. But most of us kind of fall short, because what percentage of your posts on Facebook do you think the people who like the page see? So, all right, you make a post, you got 500 people like your Facebook page for your business, for your practice. What percentage of them do you think not that see it? What percentage of them does it show up in their news feed? What percent? Tell me what you think that is. Right? Dr. Connie says 20%. Not that high, a little bit lower. not a little bit lower, actually a lot lower. All right, I've got a 8% because I said lower. Actually, it's about right at 3 to 5%. 3 to 5% of people see your post when you post it, the people that like the page. So what if there was a way that you could post something that was guaranteed to show up in the news feed of every person who likes the page? Would that be beneficial? Would that be helpful? Put a 1 in the box if that'd be helpful. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to actually give you a strategy. I'm going to give you a bonus. All right, I got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. One's coming in with exclamation point. All right, so here it is. Here's a viral strategy. It's going to be so simple. So you basically, when you change out your cover image, and some of you haven't done it in a couple of years, but every time you change your cover image, it shows up in the news feed of every person who likes your page. If they engage with it, if they say something about it, that shows up in the news feed of every person who is their friend. The average person on Facebook has how many friends? Around 200. That's on average, right? Average is 200. So if they engage with it, that means now it's going to show up, your cover image is going to show up in the news feed of 200 people in addition to the ones that like your page. So it's critical that you don't just make it some goofy picture. You want to put something on there. You want to have a reason for changing it. And there's a reason to change it every month of the year, right? Because right now what we're at, this is last month was Father's Day celebration. July 4th is next week. There's always a reason to be changing that cover image. So keep that in mind whenever you do that. So right now we've talked about funnels and automation. We've talked about traffic. We've talked about reputation, and we've talked about social media. So I've given you a lot of information. I know this has been very quick, a lot of information in a short period of time, but I think you can see that once you have the information and understand that you're about how you can do these things, it starts to equip you and give you tools to be able to start to I'm not saying you have to do it yourself, or if you are the person that's there at the practice that's responsible for doing it, it's giving you information. Because I already had somebody ask, hey, is there any way I can get a copy of the presentation because I'd really like to show this to the doctor, right? And so, well, those of you that are on here, we'll make sure that you're able to get a copy of that. But like I said, I won't guarantee that if you do that, that what I'm going to share with you is going to still be available, because like I said, I've done this 2 times a day already, and it's going fast. So right now you're at a crossroads, and the crossroads is, do I just try to do this on my own, or do I take the little bit of information I have? How do I continue to be able to know that what I'm doing are the right things? So it can all seem very difficult at first because there's a lot of moving pieces. So that's why we put together, again, I'm not trying to sell you on doing this work for you. We have a special program to help you get your website converting more visitors. It's a one-time special offer that we're opening up to help practices like yours convert more visitors into patients. Right? And again, I'm not selling you on us doing this work for you. You'll see as we go through here. Funnels cost thousands of dollars to create, but we're going to underwrite most of the cost in helping you to build a brand site funnel. Now, if you think about it, is the information that I've shared with you already been useful and helpful? Right? This is just a free webinar. Put a 1 in the box if you've found information. I know some of you have, because you've already asked me if you can get the recording, because it's super helpful information. There's 1s coming in, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, cool. So here's the thing. Imagine how much better it would be to be able to have access to that anytime you needed it. Does that sound fair? So here's what we put together for you. And again, you're going to want to stick to the end, because this is going to be unbelievably more reasonable than you can ever imagine that it will be. I promise. You're going to look at it and go, why? Why is it that way? So, and if you're thinking when you go through here, it's too good to be true, that's what I want you to think, okay? So everything you need to create a dominating online presence, whether you do it, whether you have a member of your staff do it, whether you are the staff member, it doesn't matter. There's weekly training sessions to keep you on pace. And it's not just training, it's also the things that you need to do, right? The things to do to be accountable. Training with your staff with certification opportunities. Imagine if you have staff that you're doing this with, or if you are a staff member, being certified in funnels and automation, getting certified in traffic strategies, being certified in social strategies, certified in reputation management strategies. That's what we're talking about offering here. So Forbes just put out an article recently of why your most important business move might be joining a mastermind. That's what we're putting together here is a medical marketing mastermind. Because number one, it's accountability. It helps you do the things that you need to do. It's a regular connection with other professionals. It networks beyond their own to tap into. You also a trusted circle of colleagues to help you make decisions, almost like having a mini board of directors of helping you make the decisions whenever it comes to marketing and what you can do, right? Also a chance to learn from other businesses and leaders. There's things that are shared. There's things that other people are doing that you'll also get access to from being part of the mastermind. A confidential space to discuss challenges and problems. You know, the thing about a mastermind is what happens in there stays there. Also, you're also not going to feel like you're in competition because it's not like you're going to have 5 chiropractors in Charlotte, North Carolina on here, because you'll see how limited this is. There's no chance that you're even going to have a competitor that's even close to being in the space. So sharing, if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you're sharing it with somebody in Las Vegas, it doesn't matter because you're both winning. You're not taking anything away from anyone. It's a laboratory to learn and experiment with the things that you're doing, a reflection of your own wisdom and expertise as you help others, because there's no one, no matter if you're the most senior doctor on here or the most junior associate that's responsible for the marketing, you all have information that can be shared and potentially long-term friendships and connections. So that's the first step. Now, that in itself would be a great offer. Just that would be well worth everything we're going to show you here in a minute. But there's some bonuses that we're adding in here to make it a complete no-brainer for you. We're going to give you access to our funnel building software. Remember, I said I wasn't trying to build that brand site funnel for you. I'm going to give you access to the funnel building software so that you can build it yourself, but you don't even have to really build anything. All you got to do is add your logo, add your information in, and it will take care of that for you. So basically, we're giving you as a bonus a $2,000 brand site funnel because having access to the funnel building software. And when you look at it, now look at that aspect with the funnels and automation, it's the whole system put in place. And this isn't some of the ones you may have seen before. We have never offered this to any businesses at all, really. And unless you were a full-fledged marketing agency, have you been able to get access to this. You have complete control. You have unlimited pages that you can build, and you can build 3 different funnels in here. You have high converting funnel templates where you just fill it in. You have the first ever drag and drop visual website funnel builder where you just drag the pages in the order that you need them to be in. And we're not only, you're going to have to decide, we're going to show you how to do it. A drag and drop instant page builder. The pages are already built, but if you get frisky and you want to try to build your own, all you do is you don't have to start with a blank slate. You just move the story blocks in and it fills in the information for you. You can build websites, you can build opt-in pages, sales pages, upsells, downsells. It has order pages that connect to Stripe and PayPal, integrations with iContact, MailChimp, Zapier. And even if you don't have the MailChimp or Zapier, it'll take care of notifying you, capturing the lead, and sending them an email without you having to have it connected to anything else. So that's a $3,500 value a year just in that part. But we're going to do all the heavy lifting and detail work for you as well, because you don't have time to do that. You're busy taking care of what you're doing. We're going to take care of the hosting. You don't have any hosting fees. We're going to take care of setting it up so you can do split testing, reporting, the SSL certificates, virus protection, and daily backups so that you don't have to worry about that. So that's with the brand site funnel. But what's the next thing you need with the brand site funnel is you'll want to create a lead generation funnel. And this is very simple. It's where you just offer a single thing to them in exchange for their email address. And when you look at it, it's just an opt-in and a thank you page. It's very simple. And we're going to help you develop the lead magnet that's going to be right for you. So it could be if you're a LASIK eye care surgery, the guide to getting crystal clear vision. My wife, when we got married 8 years ago, she had to wear glasses. It was like a -6 in each eye. I said, hey, why don't you go get LASIK surgery? She did it, changed her life, but she had a lot of questions and she got a lot of these different things. Excuse me. But who do you think she went to? The one that answered her questions. It could be that it's a new patient offer with a discount. We're going to work with you to help you identify the best way to do that. And you're going to get a profit funnel framework. This is the funnel that works for you 24/7 and actually goes ahead and makes sales and books appointments for your practice. That's how important and how this works. So I didn't call out all the ones a while ago. Cornerstone, Dr. Kenneth, Triveda Mobile, the Lion Spine, as far as the information being valuable. So the bonus for the profit funnel framework works like this, and this is going to be a lot. I'm going to go kind of quick because it starts off with a lead magnet, and then your brand site funnel takes over to a trust trigger. And the trust trigger is the first in low end offer. It'd be something, like I said, it can be that $57 for the first visit. It can be a $7 thing. I've got vascular surgeons who offer basically a $7 tube of SkinMedica skincare treatment. I have that with med spas that offer that they're able to buy it and then come to pick it up to get them into the office. The trust trigger order pays, they go ahead and place the order. And as soon as they place the order, you go ahead and make another offer to them, which is your core offer, and get them to take that step. And then after the core offer, the next hub is a profit bump. And a profit bump is if you have any type of concierge level of service, if you have an ongoing maintenance program with your services, that's key. And making it so that they're buying money at a discount, basically. When a profit bump, you're giving the opportunity to take advantage of buying now at a lower price than what it would cost them in the future. A lot of people will take advantage of that. Basically, about 20 of the people that come in and buy your core offer are going to buy the profit bump, so it can actually be a much higher price. And then finally, the confirmation. So we go through all those. And then, like I said, with the lead magnet development, we're going to walk you step by step through what it is, how to develop it, how to find out what your customers want most, some exercises to help you develop that, and what to put in place. So we're not just going to leave it to you, oh, go do a report. We're going to show you how to develop that report, if it is a report. Then you have the implementation training for the rest of the framework of the funnel. Because there's 5 funnel profit boosters. That first is that lead magnet, the thing that gets them to give you the email. Then you have the trust trigger. But you have to know what that needs to be. It might not be the first thing you think of. Then your core offering, and then how to position that so that it's something they pay for. And I've done this with dozens upon dozens of medical practices, and every one is a little bit different. So it's not a one size fits all. There's steps, there's things that you do that are different, and things that you value different than someone that's in the next city over. So your core offer may be different, even if you're doing the same things, because you have different offers. So we walk you through an example of the lead magnet, the trust trigger, the core offer, and how to design every element of that. Then the profit bump, like I mentioned, that thing, you've already got them right, they've made the core offer. Now let's take them to the next level of selling them into the next level program, because about 20% of them are going to take that step, even if it's a high dollar program, and that's where you're going to be able to increase your acquisition profits. And then the funnel stack is basically bringing them back in. When I mentioned that boomerang, well, the boomerang, it's a re-offer campaign, because not everyone is going to buy the thing that you offer them at front. So you have a re-offer campaign put in place to immediately bring them back into the funnel again. I saw that you looked at this, you didn't take us up on it. Here's another reason to do that. So we have funnels and automation, traffic, reputation, and social. All of those areas are covered in the mastermind. It took 8 years and over $10 million invested to create this success ecosystem for your practice. So again, here's the pieces. And I'm going to put these up pretty quickly, because the other thing, you're going to be able to network with 7-figure business coaches that are part of this mastermind. There's all these are the value of all of the pieces that I've been talking about. So you have the brand site funnel at $2,000. A lead gen funnel, it's going to cost you $1,000 to go have someone build that for you. You can basically push a couple of buttons and build it yourself with our funnel builder in less than 10 minutes. Lead magnet development. Profit funnel for your business. If you have somebody build a full-fledged funnel for your business, you're going to pay $3,000 just to have that done. I have some practices that paid $3,000 just for basically the theory of what that needs to be. We already have those theories laid out for you in the way that the training works. Also, the finding the traffic sources, just that section alone is $997. Reputation marketing, social channel marketing. And so basically it's at localgenius.com/medical mastermind or medical MM. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat. And I'm going to tell you how much it is here in just a second. Like I said, you're going to be blown away how affordable this really is. So local genius, if you chopped off 8 of my fingers, I guess .com would be up. .com/MEDMM. I'm going to put that in the chat window so that you can just click on it and go to it. If I cut off 8 of my fingers, my typing would not slow down. First month is $47. Then it's just $297 a month. So it's on us to make sure that you see the value in all the pieces and all these things that we're putting in place that get you to stick around. There's no commitment to stay after the first month $47 trial. Why $47? Well, because it puts it within reach of the vast majority of practices. It's not too expensive for even the humblest beginning practice. I don't care if you're a chiropractor right out of school, if you're a dentist right out of school, if you're just getting started, things are tight, and you're wondering how you're going to make payroll, you're wondering that $47 will get you where you need to be. And I guarantee you within the first 30 days, you're going to see some return on what it is that you're doing. That's on me to make sure that happens. Also, anybody who's not serious enough about their practice in 2019 to invest $47 into this isn't going to take the time to use the methods laid out in the report anyway. It doesn't matter how great the tool is that we provide you. If you're not going to take the time to go through and take the 15 or 20 minutes it takes to set it up, it's not going to be worth anything to you. So don't do it, right? But if you want to have accountability, if you want to have access to some of the best marketing minds in the business and ways of putting those things in place, even if you're not going to touch it, but you're going to gain the knowledge and the insight of what you want to have whoever the agency is that you're currently working with to have them implement these things, that in itself is going to be worth tenfold the investment. Again, the other part of it is, I said I've already done this a couple of times. We started, there's only 20 spots because we can't put 200 people into this program because there's a level of personal touch. You're going to get access. You're going to get my email. You're going to have access to me to ask questions as well. You're going to have access to other members of our team. I had one mastermind member send me a question this morning about how a Facebook ad worked that was a form fill from a lead page inside of Facebook. And I was able to put together a Loom video and send over to them exactly how they could go in and set that up. When's the last time you were able to send an email question to someone and have them send you the details of exactly how to take care of that within about an hour of doing that? That's the level of service and level of commitment that we have. If you go to the page and it says waiting list, then you missed it. So if you have any idea that this is something you want to do, you need to go ahead and go to localgenius.com/medmm or MEDMM and go ahead. Again, you don't have to continue after the first month. It's on me, it's on us, it's on our team to make sure that the value is there for you to continue with that. So if you have any questions, now's the time to go ahead and put those in the box. I'll be more than happy to answer anything that you have. Again, like I said, if you're thinking to yourself, well, $47 a month, that's just too good to be true with all that stuff. I mean, it's 14 grand and it's only $47. Test me. Put me to the test. Like I said, 47 bucks. You know, we're not making a living on $47. I can promise you that. Because I said this hasn't been available to anything other than professional advertising agencies until doing this beta program and doing this mastermind. So test me to see that value is not there. All right. So are the trainings recorded? Yes, the trainings are recorded and they're placed into the same type training portal as I showed you over here earlier. With the example here, we have a portal set up like that for you to be able to go straight into, to be able to get to the recordings, and usually placed in there within about an hour of the recording being done. Do you give us access to all the training at one time? No, and that's by design, because if I gave you access to all of it, it's too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. We're going to give you access. We're going to set up because the first meeting on this group is going to be Monday. So we set up for for that. We go through, the first thing we do is I'm going to walk you through how the brand site funnel works, how to utilize the software so that you can put that in place first. That's the most important thing to get things up and running. Then we're going to look at lead gen. Then we're going to look at the profit funnel and open up that training, because that training in itself, you're going to get instant access to it, but it's set up to be an 8-week course that you're going to get access to from this. So, and because of that, we don't want to overwhelm you by dumping it all at one time, because that's what tends to happen when we do that. Where does SEO and Google Ads and Facebook marketing fit into this? Good question, Cornerstone. SEO, the brand site funnel is SEO optimized. So you can go in there with the titling, with the description, the SEO keywords, the way that you can keyword that. Now, I'll be the first to admit that a brand site funnel typically is going to get more attention from other traffic sources, right? By posting a video that gets ranked, that sends them to the brand site funnel. By doing Facebook ads, it sends them to the brand site funnel. Doing Google ads, it sends them to the Facebook, the brand site funnel, because it's meant to do one thing. That's why I said sending traffic to your website, they're confused. So the brand site funnel really is built more for other traffic sources, but you can get organic traffic to it. So those will, and we'll talk about all the different aspects of how to get them to that and the best way to make that work. So yeah, it is an SEO-able, I guess is how you would say that. But let's see. Green River said, do we need a new domain for the brand site funnel? The short answer is yes, but it's not anything that you can buy from us. And I will tell you, like I said, I've been in this business for a long time, and I could buy domains anywhere. I buy my domains from GoDaddy. Why? Because if you call that number, they'll get on the phone with you. So I do buy my domains from GoDaddy. I set my emails up through G Suite because Google and GoDaddy will both get on the phone with you. And that's why I do it that way. But it's not something you're going to have to buy from us. There's nothing else that you have to buy from us. We're going to give you access to the funnel builder. But you're not going to have to, you're not going to have to pay for anything for that. Now there are some other opportunities. Once you're part of the mastermind, if you want to have some different aspects, and some what we call speed and automation aspects that are going to be available, but it's nothing that you have to have. It's nothing that you have to have in order to be successful. In order to be successful doing this, because with this, it's not like you're just getting a gym membership. You're getting a gym membership along with a personal trainer and along with group training. So that it works around both ways. So it's not like it's just taking one step. The only thing is, if you get to where you want some of the things done for you, we have some resources that can take care of some of those things if you want to. You definitely do not have to, and it's not anything that we try to, it's not an upsell that we try to do anyway. All right, let's see what else. Londonton wants to know, I like that, does this work outside of the US? Yes, it works anywhere, and it works anywhere that the internet works. So let me look it up here. Where's it at? Yeah. So like I said, I can tell you that, and does it work in non-English speaking countries, like does it work in Mexico? Yes. All of the stuff that we have is in English, but if you want to, you can translate it, you can move it over, you can do whatever you want to with it. The characters are all there, but everything, all the training, everything is in English. It's not multilingual, but it works anywhere that the internet works. What is the time commitment for the program to really make it work? It's a good question. So it's going to be about an hour of the training, because you've got other things to do than worry about getting on 3 or 4 training calls. So it's going to be about a 1 hour call each week. And then literally for putting these things in place, for building out that brand site funnel, when you first create it, it's going to take you probably 30 to 45 minutes to go through and create it. Now to make it the rest of the time, well, even when I lay out the full funnel program, and for going through a week, you can do the week's worth of work in about 10 minutes a day. And that's not an exaggeration. About 10 minutes a day, you can do the week, because you shouldn't spend more than about 10 minutes each day going through being able to make it work. Because once it's in place, it's just a matter of checking on it. And then the more things you do with social media and those things, and it's not just about you, it's also about being able to utilize the economies of scale and capitalize on having systems in place to do things for you. So that's, again, it sounds unreasonably short. I get that. It sounds too good to be true, but that's part of it. That's not too good to be true that it's $47, and too good to be true that you can do that in about 15. But let me show you something here, right? Here's an example. Look at the training here. Video, 3 minutes. Core offer demonstrating proof video is 9 minutes long. A PDF, the core offer buying motivators, 9 minutes long. I don't do trainings that are more than about 10-minute long training videos, because you don't have the attention span. You don't have the time to sit through an hour of how to do something. The hour for the mastermind will be training, but it's going to bounce around, right? It's going to be talking about different elements. So all of the training videos, even the training videos that are in place for the funnel builder, the longest one of those is maybe 15 minutes long. So we want to make sure that, because your attention span it isn't there. It's not your fault. It's just most people, you got a lot of things to do. So let me see if there's anything else here, any other cost. I'll mention that. SEO, we mentioned that. When do we start? It'll be Monday. Will be the first call for this group. So whenever you do access the program, you're going to receive an email, and that email is going to have a message for me, and it's going to have a link to go register for the first mastermind call, which will be on Monday. So that will take care of that. All right, so we still got a bunch of people on here. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put those into the box. And again, just if you would put a 1 in there. If this has been worth your time, and hopefully a lot of it has, because there's a couple hundred of you still on here. And by the way, we're down to basically, I think, 2 spots left now, because 5 people have already sent me things saying that they're in. So I think we're like, if I had the ability, I'd put a /2 there and say 2. So I probably want, you may have seen that the webinars, there's a webinar this weekend, next week it will be it'll be a different training. So it won't be the false scarcity there. So let's see what else we got. Let's see, I missed the offer. Can you repeat it? Yeah, it's on the screen there, Align Spine. It's the HealthCare Marketing Mastermind, and it gives you all of those pieces that you see on the page. It gives you weekly training sessions to keep you on pace, training for your staff with certification opportunities, access to our funnel building software. Basically, it's you go in and fill in the blank for a $2,000 brand site funnel, a lead gen funnel, the ability to create a lead magnet that would help you develop your lead magnet, profit funnel for your business, implementation training, traffic sources, reputation marketing, and social channel marketing. It's not us doing it for you, but it's us giving you the information of how to make sure that if someone's doing it for you, that you're getting the value for it, and also to being able to know that you're able to put a campaign out there and that it's going to be successful without having to do a bunch of trial and error, because we've already done a lot of these things. So that's the offer, and it's $47 for the first month, and then it's just $297 a month after that. And again, that keeps you in place. So on the screen, it's localgenius.com/medmm. Also in the chat box, I'll type it in here to a response for you. It's localgenius.com/medmm. And also when you go there, hit return on that. So let me just send it to everyone. localgenius.com/medmm and send to all. So that should pop up in everyone's question box. When you go there, the page is going to have the same recap. It's going to have the same things on the page that you see on this page, on the order site. So you'll be able to see it again once you get over there. That's so that it meets all of the criteria of there's the same logo, basically the same list of stuff. It just doesn't have the $ on there. So that's how you go ahead and do that. All right, let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, got it. Cool. So, all right, so we got just a couple minutes left. If you have any other questions, put those in. It can be a question about anything. It doesn't have to just be about this program. It can be about anything that we discussed the whole time. Again, it's very informal. I'm an informal kind of person. I'm also a very simple person. So whenever you ask me something, it's the shortest, most direct route. It's kind of like I'm a firm believer in Occam's razor, in getting answers to things. Just like when someone sent me the question about how to build out the lead form inside of Facebook, I put together a 5-minute video and sent it back to them to show them exactly here's where the buttons you click, here's where you go, here's where you put it. Did I tell them here's what to write in the ad? No, that part they already have what they wanted to offer. I just go through here and show you how do you go in and do that. If you want to have information or you want to have help with what to write, that's something that we can talk about and cover on the mastermind calls. We're also gonna, it's not just that, you're gonna have interaction, two-way interaction. You're gonna be able to ask questions during the mastermind calls, and we're also gonna have Ask Me Anything sessions that you'll be able to get any other questions that you have answered. And you'll have access to me and the team. You'll be able to send your questions in through me. If it's something that I don't have the answer to, I get one of the team members to answer it for you and get that back over as quickly as possible. So it's like having a board of directors for your marketing for your business. And again, we're not trying to replace anybody. We're not trying to replace any marketing agency. We're just trying to equip and arm you with what you need in order to be able to know that what you're doing is going to be the best, get the best results for your practice. because I get it. Most of you probably already have someone that you're working with. That's why this isn't about us selling you a funnel. It's about us selling you the ability to create one. And if you want to give access to the company that's already doing stuff for you, and say, hey, build me a funnel in here, that's fine. If you have staff, you've got 2 or 3 people that you want to be able to be on the trainings, that's fine, because they're going to be recorded. You can give them access into the portal. There's not like you got to have 3 seats in here. You can have, it's for your practice. It's a mastermind, one payment, one login for your whole practice, to make sure that that was one of the other things that was going to come up in the questions. All right, well, thank you all for taking the time to be here. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I know some of you may be looking at getting out early because we have a holiday week next week. I will see at least almost, I think we're down to 1 left. I will see a lot of you on the call on Monday, those of you that signed up. If you didn't, if you get to the page and it says waiting list, you missed it. If you get to the page and it's still available, put an order in. Because I think Tom is, he may, like I said, I may have him open it up if I get enough requests. But again, we limit it because we don't want to make it so there's so many people that we don't have the time to address the issues. That's why we limit it the way it is. So go ahead and do that. Those of you who are in the U.S., hope you have a great 4th of July and an extended weekend. For those of you, I guess Canada has their Independence Day is July 1st, I guess. So good luck with that as well. If you're in the other areas, have a great week next week as well. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. It's been my pleasure to bring this information to you. Again, my name is Jody Underhill. Go to localgenius.com/MEDMM to be able to register for the Healthcare Marketing Mastermind to start getting things in line for your practice. Thanks, everyone. Take care.